And exercise, it is researched to death that exercise movement matters and it lowers our anxiety 100%. So it's very important for our mind and our bodies.
I'm Susan Goss, and as a seasoned therapist of more than 15 years, I'm honored to have had the opportunity to gain so much wisdom from so many people and love passing that knowledge on to others. So join me and some of my favorite friends as we share some tangible truths with you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Tangible Truth Podcast. I'm Susan Goss and this is Angie Elrod again.
Hey.
We're so glad to have you, Angie. We really are. And listeners, if you haven't listened, please go back to episode 1 and 2, where we have had a wonderful discussion with Angie. So we're going to, and it's more of the spiritual side of getting back, I guess, on track. Mm-hmm. Is that a fair way to say it?
That's good.
In 2025, and you'll have to get on that because we're really going very personal. What's unique or original to you, listener, to Angie, to me. We're taking it that way, not as just a big umbrella approach, are we?
No,
we're really
very
going
specific about where are we and what are we going to do.
So I think you'll benefit and pull things that are pertinent just to you. So we hope that it will benefit you greatly. And now we're going to move on to episode 3 and talk about the physical realm and how to get started if you're not physically. And Angie is very honest about her journey, and we appreciate that. And I'll jump in about my journey as well. But Angie's going to jump right on in and tell us how she got started. I'm very quick to say it's kind of like eating an elephant. One bite at a time. Now that is true. One bite at a time. It's the best philosophy for sure if you're starting. Right, Angie?
Yes, it is. And that was the first thing I said when we talked about it.
Yes.
Was one thing at a time, one step at a time. Mm-hmm. And I'd love the difference some movement can make in your life.
Any movement.
And
tell us about your story.
Well, about a year and a half ago, I started walking regularly. I learned about myself that I've got to have partners. I've got to have someone who expects me to be there. So I didn't need to go join a class that I don't know people at a gym that don't know me. I need a friend or family member that is expecting to see the whites of my eyes at a certain time every day so that I'll go. But before I could even do that, I had to start with, I got to get up out of this bed. Mm-hmm. And that sounds bad.
No, it doesn't.
But
it's where you were.
That is where I was.
That's right.
Because I was overwhelmed. Because all I could think of was what I needed. I need to 10,000 steps and I need to be doing this many miles a day and all this kind of thing. Well, I just stayed in the bed over that because I couldn't do that. So my goal became get your shoes on, get your walking shoes on. And so I said to myself, if you can get your walking shoes on and tie them, then, and if you're too exhausted after that, you can be done. Or if you're not, then you can walk out the front door and go to the mailbox, which is 20 feet in front of my front door. So go to the mailbox, Angie, and be grateful and happy and proud of yourself. Mm-hmm. And then you can stop if you need to. So I did that and I took it to the stop sign.
Great.
And then I took it to the second stop sign. Then I added a loop around my neighborhood, but I kept reassuring myself because I had gotten into such a place of fear of some kind of failure that I could not move forward without first giving myself permission to stop at each little step along the way. Mm-hmm. And what I found was I was already making the loop around the neighborhood the very first time that I went out. Mm. Now, there have been other times that it was really hard to get to the mailbox. But most days I can do more than I think I can do. But that's all. And I just do that day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I try to do it again the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before I had a walking partner that I had,
Mm-hmm.
a certain time. But anyway, I hope that helps someone because it can be overwhelming to just get started. And I still I call it, I'm allergic to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, I don't know if they have that in your DSM or whatever that book is you use, but they need to add it. I'm allergic to exercise and have anxiety about it, but it's the most wonderful thing. And it changes everything about my energy level.
Mm-hmm.
It even helps me make healthier food choices during the day because I feel like I've done something productive and I'm just reasonable and about the amount of time or the distance or whatever, and just take it one day at a time.
Now, Angie, that is a wonderful, because I know how long you walk now, and it's so much further than your mailbox. It's so much further than your loop and your thing, because you meet your friend at the community center.
That's right.
In Conway, and y'all walk y'all go by time.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all walk a certain amount of time, and you do such a great job. And there are so many things here to talk about. Number one, Angie started out, listeners, saying, I know myself.
Mm-hmm.
Angie said, I don't like to walk in isolation.
That's right.
Okay, so there's number one. Who are you? Know yourself.
And there are
many people. I'm one of them. I am so since we're talking about this, let's just talk about it. I'm one of them. I am a treadmill girl. I am a treadmill girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a treadmill girl because I have a horrible lower back, and my physical therapist loves me on a treadmill at a certain pace,
right,
and incline or zero incline because of my hip and back situation. So I'm by myself. So
know yourself.
So know yourself. So Angie needs to walk with a group or partner, and so that's great. Now, do I love to walk Kohler with somebody? Yes, I love to walk Kohler, but I have to walk flat.
Oh, okay.
I can't do the hills anymore. So Kohler's great with me, the walking trail at Kohler. So I can do that with a friend. But you've got to know yourself. Number two, Angie started with very small increments before she got a partner.
That's right.
Like you wanted to be confident that you could walk with somebody before you call somebody. So you started with the mailbox and up and down the street for a little bit. And then you did small increments first.
That's right. And I wasn't at some great athletic level when I did get my walking partner. But that gave me the confidence to get started. And even though I've been doing this for a year and a half, on January 1st this year, I said, ooh, my walking buddy Beth has COVID. And she cannot start out the first day of the year with me walking, which it doesn't matter, just like we talked about on the other episode with Bible study. What day, it doesn't matter what day you start in the month or the year. But she couldn't go with me. And so I had to start back at ground zero and say, Angie, can you get your tennis shoes on today? And I did. And I just had to kind of go back to that because it was cold. I was alone. It was a holiday and I was alone. And I had to go back to the baby step program.
Okay.
And it worked. And I called you, Susan, that day.
Yes, you did.
I walked for 30 minutes in my neighborhood. I was so proud and so grateful.
Yes, I was so proud of you.
And I started with putting my tennis shoes on. That was my first goal. Now, y'all, That's baby steps.
Well, but it got the job done.
Yes,
It got
it
the
did.
job done. And I'm so proud of you. And so we're all different.
Mm-hmm.
We're all different levels. And so I think that's a great thing to bring up is to know yourself.
Good.
And so whatever form of exercise you do, whatever level you are, you got to know your body. And some do weight training. I do some of that as well, but you've got to know your body and you've got to know when you can do that, but baby steps there. And you've got to, we've done an episode before. I want to bring this up. It's a perfect time to do it. We've done an episode. I don't remember what season it was, but we did an episode with Holly Girth on the difference between rhythm and routine. And I thought it was really, really good for the listeners because sometimes we get in a routine. Routine for some things is almost mandatory, like especially if you're taking medicine or something, you got to keep that. And that is very important. Others that you might be kinder to yourself if you say the word rhythm.
I love that.
Because you might be, as you said, Angie, off a day.
Yes.
Or whatever, but you're still in a rhythm of exercise. You may not be at your normal place where you do your exercise, but you may be at your office or you may be out of town, but you're still, okay, I think I didn't get to walk for a couple of weeks because I've had so much going on and everything, but I sure was busy. And I sure, and very, very active, but you might do a squat or two, or you may do whatever. You can do a lot of exercise and not be at a gym or not be on the treadmill or not be on the track or not be walking the trail. You can still do a lot of exercise.
That's right. And you don't have to go to a gym.
No.
You don't have to, even if the weather doesn't permit and you can just move inside your home and stop in your bedroom and do some stretches.
Yes.
It feels so good to stretch our bodies. And
it feels very good. And that is under the umbrella, I will say, of being in a rhythm of exercise. So that's the word rhythm.
That's
I'm talking about.
So good. That word rhythm is great. And I need to clarify that some weeks I walk 4 or 5 days a week. I would love to say I walk 6 or 7. Maybe someday I will say that. But then there are other weeks I walk 2 to 3 and then I get the flu and I walk 0. So that's part of it too. You're in a rhythm of going as you can.
100%. You're in a rhythm of going when you can. But to be in a rhythm of exercise is very important for our mind and our body, our soul, our strength. It just matters. And it really does. Therapeutically, let me tell you, listeners, it also matters for lowering anxiety. Therapeutically, it matters for your sleep patterns. Therapeutically, this anxiety, depression category and exercise, it is researched to death that exercise movement matters and it lowers our anxiety 100%. So it's very important for our mind and our bodies. Very, very important. I assess this. I assess sleep patterns for clients. I assess exercise with clients many times, especially with high anxiety and depression. So I think it's vitally important that it becomes part of the rhythm of our lives. It's a whole, this is why we're talking about spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, because it's a holistic approach to health. And so just taking a snapshot and, sitting down, it's January 2025. What does it look like individually? It's different for everyone. But do I need to put on my tennis shoes? Do I need to get out of the bed like Angie did? Do I need to, okay, my first step, can I get to the mailbox? Wait, I can. I can go all the way to the stop sign.
That's right.
Can I get to the next stop sign? Just like Angie did. I think it's great. And do I have to feel guilty that I'm on the treadmill? No. My physical therapist said I needed to be. Great. I'm going to do exactly what my body needs. Or I can stroll, I guess, on the trail, but that's okay too.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but when Beth or I wake up with a migraine, we text and say, can you meet me to stroll at the community center?
Yes.
It's the McGee Center, because that's where we are. And we'll go, let's just stroll.
Yeah.
Because, one of us has a migraine or something. I always feel better when I make an attempt, and I can always do a little bit more than I think I can.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, but
No, it's a great point. It's a great point.
Because we don't wake up and feel ready to exercise.
No. No.
Do y'all?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
So very true. So just an attempt. And if you've never started, it's like we talked about. It's like you talked about. If I've not been in the Word, how did you word that? The last
I said, what if
episode?
I've been slacking and it's been a long time since I've been in the Word in any consistent manner?
Yes, God meets you there. It's where what happens. Same with in the physical realm. Mm-hmm. If you've not done anything, you just start. You put on your tennis shoes, like we said, and just start somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. So I think this has been a great episode. I really do. I hope it's encouraging others to just get started. We love you. And we've got one more episode in January, and it's going to be the emotional mental episode. And I think it'll be great. Angie's going to hang around to do that one episode with us. And so we will see you then. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Tangible Truth Podcast, part of the KLRC Podcast Network.